All right, people of the state of Michigan versus Drew James Peltola, files 247831SM and file 247819SM. Mr. Peltola appears from the Dickinson County Jail. Counsel
Affirmation known as Drew James Peltola appears before you as an entity.
Hold on a minute. Just let me make the appearances, and I'm going to give you the floor, okay? In regard to the matter, Nancy Schaub is here as both his counsel on the underlying file on 247819SM, as well as the first bond violation. She's here as CAFA counsel on bond violation number 2 in this file, as well as a new file of 7831SM. Kristen Cass is here on behalf of the prosecutor's office. Drew Peltola, I'm going to give you an opportunity now to say whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
I was trying to get a ride to court this morning. This bond violation.
Wait, sir. I don't want you to talk about the underlying charges. I wanted you to say whatever you wanted to say. I thought you started to say some sovereign citizen information that you wanted to make a record of.
I am an American non-citizen national that's defined in the United States Code. And I do believe that underneath copyright, once my name is copyrighted through the Daily News, once I put that copyright on your paperwork, that's something called copyright impoundment. That means that under Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the fictitious entity under due process of law does not apply to my sui juris living being.
If it were really that simple, everyone would just copyright their own name and suddenly become immune to the law. Imagine that. Commit any crime you want and just say, "Sorry, you can't touch me. I copyrighted my name." Unfortunately for them, that's not how the legal system works. Not even close.
All right, is there anything else you'd like to state for the record concerning this issue then, Mr. Peltola?
No, there's not, Your Honor. I would just like to be released again on a PR bond. You have expedition charges. I'm asking the courts to please release me on a PR bond again, and I'll continue to abide by court rules and stay off the drugs and try to maintain my court dates.
All right. In regard to the matter, then, Mr. Peltola, I have an advice of rights and plea, and for the record, I will acknowledge your comments, that your objections in respect to the court's jurisdiction and whatnot are noted for the record concerning your position regarding your status with the court. All your rights are preserved. In regard to the matter, did you understand the advice of rights and plea information form as it was then, Mr. Peltola?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
How about the bond violation arraignment hearing form? Did you understand that?
I do not have it in my hands, but I read it, and yes, I fully understand.
All right, it's signed by you. Today's date. Did you sign it?
Yes, I did. Also, Brad. Yes, I did, ma'am.
All right, then. In regard to the matter, I also have a waiver of extradition here. I'm going to just go back over what it means to sign one of those. And let me start by saying, so long as you come back to court voluntarily for all your court appearances, this does not become relevant. But if you didn't come back to court, normally you're entitled to what's called an extradition hearing before you are returned to Michigan. And the purpose of an extradition hearing allows you to challenge the legality of your arrest and return to Michigan to fight the underlying charges. For example, you have the right to have an open court hearing. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at an extradition hearing, and if you're without sufficient funds, one is assigned for you. You have the right to demand issuance and service of a Michigan governor's warrant for your arrest. You have the right to obtain a writ of habeas corpus. When you sign a waiver of extradition, if you don't come back to court, then you give up your right to that type of a hearing, and you would be returning directly with the officials from Michigan. Do you understand what that means to sign the waiver of extradition then, Mr. Peltola?
I understand, Your Honor.
Ms. Schaub, did you have a chance to go over the nature of the charges and the maximum penalties with Mr. Peltola?
I did, Your Honor, and he waives reading of those charges in open court. I've determined that he has read, signed, and understood both advice of rights forms. He wishes to plead not guilty, and he is requesting assigned counsel. Case manager has determined that he still qualifies for assigned counsel, and she will be assigning that to me. If needed, to set this matter on a date that is not typically mine, I have no problem with that. That would be in the best interest that I represent Mr. Peltola on all of this matters.
The sad reality is that public defenders can only help inside the courtroom. Once these people walk out those doors, they're on their own. And judging by their decisions, they usually end up right back where they started, standing in front of a judge again.
All right, then, concerning the matter, we're going to get back to the issue of bond, but I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on behalf of Mr. Peltola concerning the case that is presently set for a pretrial and has a trial date coming up. That is the 7819 SM case. And the bond violation, now with the new bond violation, are we going to set both bond violations together, or do you want to proceed on the first one today?
I would like to set both of them together, I think, in the interest of justice, and prosecutor had made an offer on the original file, and I think they will be making a new offer. And I think in light of that, it would be best to adjourn those matters on violations in that file.
So we have a jury trial set for March 8th in that matter. So that's 2 days past 14 days. Well, he's on a bond violation. There's no 14-day limit. In regard to the matter that is within 28 days, we could set both bond violations as well as both jury trials on that date, if you wish. We could pre-try the new matter that he's just being arraigned on today. You can conduct your pre-trial by mail. We'll send out our standard pre-trial order with you today. Set all of the dates on the 2 bond violations and the 2 jury trials for March 8th. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you wish to be heard on bond then on the newest bond violation as well as the new underlying charge?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, the newest bond violation predates the previous bond violation. The first bond violation is alleged to have occurred on February 22nd. This current bond violation that he's being arraigned on today is alleged to have occurred on February 19th.
Some of you may have noticed a small mix-up there. She said his first violation was on February 22nd, which is today, and the second one was on February 19th. Obviously, that's impossible. What she meant was February 12th. And amazingly, it only took him about a week to land himself back behind bars.
And in light of that, I would ask the court to consider setting either a reasonable bond or, again, a PR bond. In discussing this matter with Mr. Peltola, he does have criminal matters pending in Brown County, and there is a court date on Monday in that case. It looks like from the lien printout, he may have had some issues either in the past or currently appearing in court. And I'd like to be able to have Mr. Peltola be able to take care of that matter. It looks like it's a more serious matter than the matters in this court. If he can make those arrangements to get down to Green Bay to take care of that. He's given me the name of his attorney, and I'm going to contact that attorney and see what Mr. Peltola needs to be doing with regard to that case. So if the court does not grant a bond that he can post, perhaps we can make arrangements for him to appear from the jail here.
Ms. Cass, you wish to be heard on bond?
I leave it to your discretion.
All right, concerning the matter then, I have some concerns regarding Mr. Peltola. He seems to be on a spiral. This started with a disorderly drunk on February 4th in a public place. I saw him on February 5th. I set his bond terms. I saw him back on February 12th, with a .236 on a preliminary breath test. I set bond at that time on the bond violation and the underlying. And the reason I told him then that I was going to give him the break is that normally I see people in between, they get arraigned, I give them the warning, and then they come back on a bond violation. He had not had the warning in between because he violated his bond so quickly that I saw him all at once. So I told Mr. Peltola at that time that I would set the bond at a 1,000 PR, but understand That if he came back again, he would leave me no opportunity or new choice. So here we are, not even a week later, on February 19th, stealing alcohol from the Norway Quick Stop, involving another bond violation as well as a new underlying charge that I'm free to assume is true for purposes of setting bond.
I'll tell you what, this guy isn't just a model citizen, he's practically a VIP member of the Sovereign Citizen Hall of Fame.
So for purposes of setting bond today, then, for the following reasons, and in regard to his Wisconsin matters, very serious matters, he's got 2 felonies pending in Brown County from 2023. The first one alleges possession of narcotic drugs, a felony, possession of a controlled substance on or near certain places with a modifier, carrying a concealed knife, possession of drug paraphernalia. That case has been pending through for quite some time. And he has a court date for a status conference scheduled for February 26th at 11 a.m. Then, so the date of this offense was filing date of 2/10 of 2023. He's got a filing date of March 15th of 2023 in Brown County. Another felony alleging bail jumping as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. Likewise, that has a court date at the same date and the same time as the other pending felony.
I think that is part of the other pending felony. They charge it as a separate offense, but
It's a separate case. Total separate case, total separate charges, total separate bond, total separate court dates. This is file 23 CF 448. The first one is 23 CF 240. So in respect to the matter, my point being for purposes of setting bond, Mr. Peltola has some substance abuse issues going on. He's got numerous cases pending in Wisconsin as well as now here. In regard to the matter, Mr. Peltola, I'm going to direct you to talk to your lawyer. I'm setting bond. Concerning the new theft case, then the conditions are going to be as follows. Mr. Peltola may not enter into the Norway Quick Stop as a condition of his release. He is not to purchase, possess, or consume alcohol or non-prescribed controlled substances. Mr. Peltola is subject to random PBTs and drug screens. Mr. Peltola may not go in any businesses that sell alcohol for use inside, such as bars and taverns. Recreational and medicinal marijuana use and possession are prohibited until or unless further order of the court. Conditioned on him signing that waiver of extradition, which I do have in the file, I will allow him to go back and forth to Wisconsin for purposes of court hearings and or meeting with his attorney. If
in residency, he lives in Wisconsin.
in residency, no, he lives in Vulcan, or he says Vulcan. Is that just your
Bracketed.
mailing address?
Yes, we can do it like that if you choose to.
Well, where is your residency?
My residency and my domicile is 1968 River Street. We can switch it with a mailing address to W43, the apartment 13 in Vulcan, Michigan. The address should be in there. It should be bracketed.
Right, and that's apartment 13. You didn't put that on there though. Apartment 13?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's your mailing address though?
Yes, but the problem is that building's not registered anywhere. I had to go to the post office and I had something mailed and they told me that my mail was being returned and because there's no actual mailboxes in the building.
So you're telling me that if you invent your own bracketed address, the post office can't deliver your mail there? Shocking. Funny enough, the students at Hogwarts seem to have the exact same issue.
All right, so I got 2 issues I need to deal with here. One, do you live in Wisconsin? Do you have to go to Wisconsin for purposes of residency or just your court stuff?
My mailing address, my residency, and my domicile are all registered at my mother's house. There was some unexplained events that I will not say out loud.
I don't know where your mother's house is, Mr. Peltola.
Ma'am. Address.
River Street, Niagara, Wisconsin, 54151. My mailing address will be W45. That's the Norway, the Vulcan address. I can't remember that off the top of my head.
All right. So in regard to bond, then condition on him signing a waiver of extradition, I'll allow him to go back and forth between Michigan and Wisconsin for residency, court appearances, meetings with his attorney. In regard to the matter, if you relocate for any reason, you must provide the court with an updated address and phone number within 7 days of any change. Concerning the amount of the bond on the new retail fraud, I'm going to set that I'm going to set that at 1,000 cash surety, 10%. In regard to the newest bond violation, then, I'm finding for both of them, actually, I'm going to make a record. Based on the factors the court is required to consider under MCR 6.106, considering the frequency, the charges, the dates that I have mentioned, as well as the ongoing Wisconsin matter, I am finding that to release him on a personal recognizance bond would not adequately ensure public safety. In regard to the bond violation, concerning the matter, then, I am going to set the bond violation at 2,500 cash surety, 10%. So, Mr. Peltola, those bonds are set. If you get out, you make sure to get in touch with your lawyer. If you're in
Can I say
custody,
something?
she'll be in touch with you. You may.
Yes. You know, I don't understand how I can tell you that I'm an American national and you can hold me in a county jail under bond, especially today when I was arrested on a larceny under $200. Somebody changed case prefixes and the warrant got dropped to a misdemeanor. And now you're still going to illegally hold me in a county jail under bond?
Also, yes.
All right, Mr. Peltola, I'm not going to argue with you. Your sovereign citizen has been noted for the record. In regard to the matter, you are under the order of the court. You're under the jurisdiction of the court. I decline to follow what your...
Can I at least admit I was arrested on a larceny charge that was dropped through a case prefix, UN, all incoming evidence? Can I at least have you admit that in the court of law that you guys illegally kidnapped me again with a larceny through John Rod D. Clark, Norway Police Department? Can I just have you admit that once?
No, Mr. Peltola, I don't even know what you're talking about. I will not admit that. Thank you to the jail. We are off the record on this matter.
All right, everyone, that's the end of today's video. Something tells me we'll definitely see this guy again, just probably not by choice. Also, yesterday's court session was packed with sovereign citizen chaos, and I've got an absolute banger coming tomorrow that you won't want to miss. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit dislike. But either way, drop a comment below and subscribe with notifications so you don't miss the next one.